Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Charlotte, hello and welcome, and myself, my daughter Paisley, who's 6.5 years old, and some friends of ours recently visited Disneyland Paris to celebrate the 30th anniversary. Now our trip took place at the very tail end of July, slightly creeping into August, so all very recent, and I wanted to share with you what we learned on this trip, the tips and tricks that I picked up, and yeah, just a general trip review. So get yourself a drink, get comfy, and I hope you enjoyed this video.
You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, feel my stuff, I'm like a spinning top. You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, you won't stop, and I keep spinning. You see right through me, do that to me, so let's do this, baby. You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, you won't stop.
So the way that I'm going to do this video is kind of in a step-by-step chronological order. So I'm going to talk to you first about travel, how we got to Disneyland Paris, how we found that experience, our hotel, the park and the park tickets, attractions, snacks, merch, etc. And then just a bit of an overview, so top moments, things we could have perhaps have done better, things that we've learnt from, and any other business. So on this occasion we actually flew into Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, ready for our Disneyland Paris vacation. We were trying to do a budget trip and flying came up as the cheapest option. Now we ended up flying from London Gatwick Airport into Charles de Gaulle via EasyJet. Flying is not my favourite way to get to Disneyland Paris. It's not the easiest way, but as I say, it does very often come up as the most cost-effective way. Do look into it as a whole. What I am a bit guilty of doing is seeing the cheap flight price and going, oh yeah, that's the cheapest. But when you then factor in perhaps a pre-travel night hotel, airport parking, transfers, everything like that, it probably does add up to a similar cost as the Eurostar, which is my favourite method to get to Disneyland Paris. It's all very easy, straight from London, directly to Marne-la-Vallée, Disneyland Paris. We used to be able to get it from Ebbsfleet Station or Ashford, which is much easier than going into London St Pancras, but ever since the pandemic, the train has not been going from those locations. If I were to choose any method of travel, it would be the Eurostar. Personally, I've only done it via the Eurotunnel and driving once. Not my fave, and I personally wouldn't want to drive in France. If I was with somebody who would happily do that, then great, I would absolutely give that a go. In terms of the flight itself, it's all very quick. You go up, you're up there for like 10 minutes and then start coming down. It's so fast. With our flights, we did have a delay of about probably an hour and a half in the end. It was quite delayed. And it just wasn't the nicest experience flying with EasyJet. We know they're a budget airline, but when I look back to our December trip to Disneyland Paris and when we flew with British Airways from London Heathrow, it was all very easy. Smooth sailing, straightforward, lovely plane, very easy. Flying with EasyJet is a bit of a different experience. The price kind of reflects that, so to be expected, but I just didn't love it. The flight being a little bit late actually then meant our taxi transfer was late, but we were calling the driver and he got to us about 45 minutes to an hour after we landed, when the plan was he was there when the flight was meant to be landing at Charles de Gaulle, so we'd have got straight to the parks and saved a bit of time. The transfer company that we use, I would 100% recommend. We used them back in December and again for our July trip. You can book it all online, so you don't need to worry about calling and speaking French and so on. Just book it online, you put where you're going, what time, you get confirmation via email, you get your driver's telephone number in the lead up to your collection, and it's all very straightforward. You can also get the SFCN train from the airport directly to Disneyland Paris. There's a very fast train. It takes about 9 minutes from memory. That's a good option too. But the timings just didn't work out for us this time, hence the reason we went for the transfer. Now for this trip, we actually stayed at an off-site location. It is a Disney partner hotel and it's in the Val d'Europe area. So it's one train stop from Disneyland Paris to Val d'Europe on the RER train. We stayed at the Hotel Elysee, which was absolutely lovely. From memory, it was €160 per night for 4 of us in the room. So we were able to split that, and it worked out really cost effective and reasonable. The hotel itself is gorgeous. It's very modern. The staff were all super friendly and kind. We had quite a few encounters with them. They were always really, really nice. Room service was good. The room was a very good size. I did do a room tour, which I'll link down below. And yeah, it was all just lovely. It was clean, it was fresh, it was just very, very nice. I would definitely stay there again if it meant saving money for more merch and snacks in the park. Being my first time off-site, I was a bit apprehensive about what's it going to be like, if it's going to be inconvenient, but it was absolutely fine. As I say, one stop on the train. The trains were very, very easy to use. The ticket stations were very easy. You can select English on their little machine. It's all straightforward. I believe from memory it was around €5 for 2 adults, 2 children each way. So €10 a day to come in and go back out, which isn't too bad at all. The trains also come like every 10 minutes. There was also a shuttle bus from our hotel. We didn't use it on this trip. We were only there 2 days, so like we just stuck with what we knew, but had we been there longer, then we probably would have tried that out. And then there's the big shopping centre, Val d'Europe, opposite, directly opposite the hotel. There's also a lot of little French patisseries and eateries all around the hotel, and it was just a lovely area. We felt very safe, very well looked after. It was all very pretty and Parisian and nice, and I 100% would recommend that location. Quite a few people have asked me how easy was it to book everything separately and to go as a separately booked trip rather than a package. Usually I would book a package directly with Disneyland Paris or with Magic Breaks, who were also very good, but we did everything separately. The flights directly with EasyJet, the hotel on booking.com, and the tickets with attraction tickets I'll link below because they do often come up the most cost effective, but it was all very easy. We just had all of our confirmations in like a file on our phones digitally. We had our ticket numbers in advance so we could link up to the Disneyland Paris app ready to go. Our dates were ticketed, so we didn't have to reserve the days to get into the parks, as you may have to do if you don't have a dated ticket or an annual pass. I know that they still have to book the dates in advance as well, but with a dated ticket you're guaranteed entry into the parks on those days. It was all very, very easy, and I believe we did save a bit of money by booking it separately instead of as a package deal. In terms of the parks themselves, I was blown away by the 30th anniversary celebrations. No joke, it was just as good as the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary celebrations, which is just unbelievable. I mean, Disneyland Paris has come such a long way in recent years. The decorations were insane, the cast members, the entertainment specifically for the anniversary was just unreal. It was all so good. Disneyland Paris has only been getting better since the Walt Disney Travel Company reclaimed a lot of the ownership, all of the ownership, probably about 5 years ago now, don't quote me, but we're really seeing the improvements, and every time I go it just seems to get better as a whole and have a more Disney vibe, a Walt Disney World vibe to it, which is awesome. In terms of crowds and the busyness of the parks, I was also very surprised in a really pleasant way, in that it wasn't very busy at all. Like, there were rides that were walk-ons. Pirates of the Caribbean was 10 minutes, Phantom Manor was 5, Tower of Terror I don't think I saw over 20 minutes the whole time we were there. The longest we waited for was Big Thunder Mountain, which was about 50 minutes, but again, not too bad for a main attraction in a Disney theme park. It was a weekend and it was the summer holidays for English schools and a lot of Europe as well, so I really thought we were going to go into it maybe getting 1 or 2 rides, but mainly just soak up the atmosphere, but we got so many rides done. I'll go round like the park just to try and remember all of them. So we did Phantom Manor and Big Thunder Mountain, as I mentioned. We also did the Teacups, Casey Jr., the little boat ride over near Casey Jr., the Curious Labyrinth. We did Star Tours, Hyperspace Mountain, Autopia, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. I think it's still called that in Disneyland Paris, but yeah, the Buzz Lightyear shooting game. We also saw Stars on Parade, which was amazing as always. We saw Dream and Shine Brighter, the new daytime parade, It was modified because of the heat, so usually the characters would get up around the castle and the stages and perform a bit extra, but because it was so hot, it was around 31-32 degrees, they just stuck to the floats and it was quite a quick parade. Still amazing, absolutely loved the music to that parade, like it's one of my faves. And yeah, that was so good. Disney Delight, the drone show, which comes on at the end of the day, was also insanely good. It was stunning and so clever. I loved every second of it. It was on at 11 o'clock at night, so a very late one, but definitely worth staying up for and checking out, because it's not like anything I've seen before. I know Walt Disney World did experiment with drones over at Disney Springs, like pre-pandemic, probably going back to like 2019, 2018 time, but I don't think we've seen any drone action really since. I could be wrong, but this was new for me and I loved it. That was followed by Illuminations, the nighttime spectacular at Disneyland Paris, which has been running for a number of years now, but is very nice. There's use of water fountains, fireworks, pyrotechnics, etc. It's lovely. It was really good, and we're so glad we managed to stay up and watch the nighttime entertainment. Something else that has come a long way at Disneyland Paris is the snack game. So one of the most special things to me about going to Walt Disney World is all the food and the snacks, Disney snacks like Mickey Premium bars and Disney popcorn and like special shaped and themed snacks that you can only get at the Disney parks. And Disneyland Paris had so many of these, which I'd not seen before, which was just insanely good. We had a Darth Vader Belgian waffle with like Nutella all over the top. We had a Spider-Man ice lolly. We had the Mickey Premium bar. We managed to have champagne on Main Street, which is something for the 30th anniversary. We had 30th anniversary themed macarons. It was just so good. I loved it. The snacks were all reasonable, usually what you expect to pay in Disney parks, so it's not reasonable at all, is it? But it's just what we know for Disney parks and probably many theme parks. I mean, I visited UK theme parks this year and snack prices they're all similar. In terms of meals, we ate at the Hakuna Matata restaurant and the Bella Norte pizzeria, both at Disneyland Park. Both were really nice. They were not places I've been before personally. I had a Mickey shaped pizza, and I mean, what more can you say? That was a dream come true. The merchandise was great. So it's like they had Loungefly, they had loads and loads of Disney ears, loads of 30th anniversary, like figurines, statues, puzzles, games, plush teddies, all sorts. It was so good. The Emporium was decorated gorgeously, and I wish I'd taken a lot more spending money than I did. One of the main attractions for us for this trip was visiting the Marvel Avengers Campus in Walt Disney Studios Park. Oh my goodness, like I'm giving everything such rave reviews, but we honestly had such an amazing time and I couldn't fault anything. The Avengers Campus was brand new. It opened like 2 weeks before we were there. Again, had expected to queue a long time to get in because on the app, a lot of the time in the weeks leading up to our trip, it was like a holding point to go into the land, which was up to like an hour some days, but we were very lucky we walked straight in first thing in the morning. So top tip, if you are wanting to visit the Marvel campus, just go first thing in the morning. Walt Disney Studios Park doesn't tend to have the extra hours in the morning for on-site guests, so everybody gets a fighting chance of getting in there and just getting down to that area. We were straight in and we were straight on the Spider-Man web adventure within like an hour, which was a really fun family attraction. Kind of like sling the webs like this. It was really fun. The area as a whole is so cool. Avengers is just cool, isn't it, in general, but like the Spider-Man and Black Panther and the superheroes like up on these ledges, always look up because they tend to be up. There's the big ship, the outside of the other ride, Flight Force, which is the reimagined version of Rock and Roller Coaster. Now it features Iron Man and it's like a super fast roller coaster, all Iron Man themed. I didn't get to do it this time because nobody else wanted to, but next time for sure. But the outside of that is so impressive, so big and like technology-ish. It's just so cool. The merchandise in that area was all cool. There was Marvel Loungefly bags and loads of just like branded stuff that was really amazing to see. We didn't really eat in the area, so there's the PYM kitchen and there's like the Tony Stark place that does pizza and pasta down at the end. There's a couple of food carts as well, but we were in the early morning, so we just grabbed like an ice cream and a drink from one of the food carts, and that's why we got Spider-Man lolly. That was really nice. The area as a whole is a must visit. We loved it. And that park, when it's finished having its expansion, because it's getting a Frozen area and a Star Wars area as well, when all of that is done, that park is going to be amazing. It's got a lot of stick over the years because it's small, it hasn't got a huge amount to do, but the more it grows and develops, it's going to be up there, guys. I think it's going to be one of my faves. Also in that park, we rode the Slinky Dog Zigzag little Slinky Dog ride. We did the Cars Road Adventure. What else? That may be it. We didn't actually spend that much time in the park this time. The girls didn't want to do Tower of Terror. We watched Mickey and the Magician, which is fab. Definitely make time for that because it's beautiful, pure Disney magic. Love it. Last time we were there in December, we watched the Disney Junior show. If you have to choose between the two and you don't have very, very young children, I would always go with Mickey and the Magician because it's really special. What I would usually do on a longer trip is have a day in Disneyland Park, a day in Walt Disney Studios Park, and then the third day like mopping up things we didn't get a chance to do. But on this trip we did spend the majority of our time in Disneyland Park and just a little bit in Walt Disney Studios, mostly to see the Avengers Campus. Because we were only there such a short time, what I didn't really anticipate was the tiredness we would all experience. So we were up and at Gatwick Airport for 5 AM on travel day. By the time we got into Disneyland Paris in the park, like stepped foot in the park, it was like 2 PM and we'd been non-stop that whole morning. The girls and ourselves actually, we were all done by like 6 o'clock that day. The heat didn't help being so warm, but we had an early night, we were up early for a full day the next day, and then we were in the parks from 8 till 11:30 at night. So again, with the heat, we wanted to be as fair as possible to our girls. We got them a stroller. It was 25 euros, I think, each. That helped them loads. They had caps, they had fans, lots of ice cream, lots of drinks. The drinks add up. When I went through my bank statements when I got home, because I was using Monzo a lot and using my Apple Pay and just like tapping my Apple Watch, there was lots of like small charges where I was just grabbing water. People were using fountains and filling up their bottles, but I didn't know whether I wanted to drink, well, I didn't want to drink the French water. I don't know if it's safe or not, but I'm definitely gonna look into it next time, like, because that could save a lot of money. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing a 2-day trip, but like us, if that's all you've got time for, because of annual leave or school or just any of those constraints, it's still a lot of fun. It did take me a while to recover from that tiredness, but I'd do it again. If I had the choice, I would go for 3 days. Some of the top moments for me personally was experiencing the 30th anniversary as a whole, seeing the parades with Paisley. She was enjoying them so much. I mentioned before the D-Light drone show was incredible. I loved it. But just generally the feeling of being there in Disneyland Paris with the sun shining, because usually we go at Christmas or early spring, so we don't get the sunshine and the warmth there, but there was a special feeling to it and it was just magical. If you guys have any questions about our trip, please leave me a comment down below or drop me an email, send me a message over on Instagram, because I'd love to talk about it more. Like literally, it was so good. It's like up there in my top 3 trips to Disneyland Paris, which is saying something. It was really good. A lot of people ask me, how was it in comparison to Disney World? Do you find yourself missing Disney World? And I always miss Disney World, like on a daily basis, no matter where I am. But I do treat it as a different park. It's an entirely different beast, and Disneyland Paris is my home park. I've been going there since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've probably had around 15 trips there in my life, so I don't tend to compare it because it's more what I'm used to than Walt Disney World, and it's special in its own way. If you haven't watched the vlog series yet, I'll link it all down below because we vlogged our entire trip. There's a lot of fun memories, there's a lot of smiles and laughs and just generally good times. It was a really happy trip. I loved every second. Go check out the vlogs. If you've enjoyed this video and if you enjoy the vlogs, be sure to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, comment and all that fun stuff. We're off on another adventure very, very soon, which will be announced in about a week's time. But yeah, you take care everybody, and I'll see you real soon.